and welcome to part 3 of the sock tutorial. In this part we are going to do one little area, but here it shows 10 rows in the instructions. So I'm going to show you the 10 rows and I will decide after if I want to show you more, but I will definitely probably write the instructions for the remainder of this bit. The instructions are in a pattern, but I want to show you how to make this little bit here from the instructions and maybe a little bit more. This area here is like the crease section. We're going to work on these stitches until all the stitches have been worked, and I will explain a little bit more as I go on with the first row, then the second, and so forth until the 10th row, and then it should make complete sense. So are we ready to begin with the first row? Yes, we are. So working only on these stitches here, for me it's 18, for you maybe it is 19. So the first row we begin by knitting 2 stitches, one and 2, then we're going to slip 1, knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over. So you know how to do this, don't you? Here we are, and knit 1. So we knitted 2 stitches, then we slipped 1, knit 1 and passed the slip stitch over and knit 1. So now we're going to turn our work and work row number 2. You're going to slip the first stitch and purl 3. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, row number 2 is done. We're going to go into row number 3. So, without getting the yarn tangled, we are going to knit 3 stitches, one, 2, 3, then you're going to slip 1, knit 1 stitch, pass the slip stitch over and knit 1. Then you're going to turn your work around to work on row number 4, and you're going to slip the first stitch and purl 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're ready for row number 5. Row number 5 is you're going to knit 4 stitches. So let's knit 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip 1, knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over and knit 1 stitch. Turn your work around and we're ready for row number 6. See, it is quite quick, isn't it? You're going to slip 1 stitch and purl 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Row number 7. We are going to knit 5 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over and knit 1. Then you're going to turn your work and work row number 8, which is slip 1 and purl 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Row number 9, we're going to knit 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over and knit 1. And you're going to turn your work around and work row number 10, which is going to be slip 1 and purl 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this is how our work looks. I hope you'll be able to see this. Do you see that the creases that we have made? This is going to form a part of the heel, which will be very, very nice, as you can see. So I have written down some notes here for the rows 1 to 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on with my sock, and I will tell you I will show you like this how many more rows I did and how many stitches that I have done. As you can see here, here's some that like increasing here on that side and that side as well, but trust me, in between there are some decreases. So anyhow, I will show you all that and how this bit will look when I'm finished with that section. So I'll see you shortly. So that is what the section looks like. I have worked an extra 4 rows, but you could be needing to do an extra 6 rows. I will show you. Here are my 4 rows that I did. There we are. 11, 12, 13, 14. It could be that you need to do 15 and 16. And then we will be ready to go on to the very last row. So my row number 11, I knit 7 stitches, slipped 1, knit 1 and passed the slip stitch over and knit 1. 12th row, I slipped 1, purl 8. Row 13, I did knit 8, slip 1, knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over, knit 1. Row 14, I slipped 1 and purl 9. Now you will need to do row 15, which is knit 9, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over and knit 1. 16th row, slip 1, purl 10. Now the very last row to finish here is going to be slightly different. So I will show you. So this is now the very last row of this section. What are we going to do is very simple. I'm going to have to knit 9 stitches, but you will have to knit 10. So I'm going to do my 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you will do your 10th, and we should have 2 stitches left. So you're going to slip 1, knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over. And we should be ready with this section now. We should be done. So what are we going to do next is very simple. Okay, so here we are now. We have done this final row. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pick up stitches to work on the gusset. So see these little slip stitches here, which are very handy. I have 10 because I worked 20 rows. And if you've worked your 24 rows, you will have 12 slip stitches, which you should see very easily. So on these slip stitches, you're going to pick up your 12 stitches. For me, it is 10. So I am now ready to start picking my stitches. So if you go into this stitch there, which are slip stitches, you can just pick that up very nicely, as you can see. So let's do that. So I'm going to pick up my first stitch. Just go into the slip stitches. There's one. Two. Three. No, I'm picking up other strands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so this is what our work looks so far. Now, in the pattern it says to put a stitch marker into this next bit here. Just put the marker into this next, my words are going elsewhere just now. I'm so sorry. When you have finished picking the stitches from the gusset area, you put your stitch marker here. And now we're ready to continue on the last part of this video, essentially. So now that we've done that, we are going to simply knit all the stitches from this row. So knit across all the stitches, every single stitch. So I'll do this off camera, I think, because there's no point you watching me do this. And I will rejoin you at the end of this row. Okay, we have finished this section so far, and this is how our work looks. You see, this is where the heel is, half of the heel. As you can see, we have done half of the heel, and this is the sock bit. So this concludes part 3 of our sock tutorial. Next part, we're going to work on this section here again, but on this side, which will be the other half of the heel. So rejoin me for part number 4. See you in the next video.